Okay, so here's something I think is going to happen in the Ahsoka show. Now, there may be some spoilers or leaks or whatever in this. I don't know for sure, so be aware of that. In the next episode, it's said that it's going to be some sort of a spiritual experience, and I think this means that Anakin will really be walking amongst all of us, with Ahsoka in the world between worlds. Now, what I believe will happen is the one thing that Ahsoka has always beat herself up about is the fact that she left the Jedi Order and wasn't there for Anakin to maybe redeem him or stop him from turning to the dark side. Maybe to be there for him as his close friend, to hear him about his pleas, about things that he's not happy about. And maybe this could have prevented him from turning to the dark side, executing Order 66, and betraying everybody. She blames the turn of her master, she blames the death of her Jedi friends, the death of the younglings, and the overall fate of the galaxy, basically for her decision to walk away. And I think that she's going to maybe bring this up to Anakin as they're walking down the path in the world between worlds. And she says, if only I had been there to maybe change your ways or to talk to you or to be there for you and I didn't abandon you. And I always wonder what would have happened if I had been there. And let's say we get to a door and Anakin's like, well, why don't we find out? And opens the door up and just pushes her into the Jedi Temple or into Mustafar. And she's literally like, oh, this is not good. I kind of regret doing this, and she has to end up talking to Anakin. But in that state, we know that Anakin was not ready to talk to anyone. It didn't matter. I don't think that Ahsoka would have been able to turn him to the light at all, not one bit, because at that point, Anakin had to do everything he had to do, every evil thing he had to do, so that he could unlock the powers to save Padme. And if he didn't do these atrocious, horrible things by killing everyone, then he wouldn't get those powers, as Palpatine said. Do what must be done. So I think, what we kind of have to realize if we get this is that this will once and for all really stop Ahsoka from feeling down on herself for leaving the Jedi. Now, how is this going to change her as a character? Well, I feel like she has a chip on her shoulder. As when Baylan said, you abandoned Anakin Skywalker and look what he became, she really took offense to that. She really got angry, and that's not the Jedi way. But then again, she is no Jedi. So to me, I think that this could really progress her character arc tenfold with the fact that we're going to finally see her either fight Anakin or talk some sense into him, and I'd be really surprised if she actually does stop him from turning to the dark side, but I don't think that would really make sense, because in that moment there was no sense in Anakin. Not even that there was no sense, it was that he had to do these certain things. So anyone that stood in his way from killing more and more Jedi and doing more of Palpatine's deeds, dark deeds, like the name of the track, shout out to all you who know, then he wouldn't be able to unlock the powers of the dark side that he needed. It's not like, oh, then I have the power of the dark side. It's like, you gotta go deep into the stuff, man. You gotta just destroy younglings. You gotta do the most unthinkable, horrible things to be able to basically bathe in the darkness, bathe in the dark side. And then maybe you'll be able to achieve this power to save whoever. But then, of course, Palpatine's like, if we work together, then we can maybe figure it out, because he doesn't actually know. So he just goaded Anakin into it and baited him. So that's kind of the problem there. And I think that Ahsoka will find out very quickly that Anakin is not there to talk. If you are not with me, then you are my enemy. And he will make quick work of her. I think that he would be a little bit conflicted like he was when he fought Kenobi. I think he had more of a, it's hard to say and it's controversial, but I think he was more conflicted when fighting Obi-Wan than he would have been when fighting Ahsoka. I think Obi-Wan to him it went much deeper, right? He knew him when he was 9 years old. He was there when Qui-Gon died, and he took over as the father then the brother role. With Ahsoka, it's much different. I think he almost respects her as his friend, but like an equal almost, in the sense that she's another person. And if anything, she's like a little sister. So it still would drive him deeper. This is how I see it. It's like the more possibilities Anakin has to do horrible things that gut wrenches him and hurts him, the more he's going to do that, because then it'll give him more power in the dark side. And so I think that with this kind of thought pattern and, the orders that Palpatine has given him, it really drives him to do the unthinkable. And so for that reason, I think it doesn't matter if Ahsoka was there, if she didn't leave the Jedi Temple or not. I think that she would have been absolutely destroyed by Anakin because she would have stood in his way, and everything would have been inevitable anyways. Darth Vader would have rose. It doesn't matter. Now, in the leaks, apparently Obi-Wan is lifeless. So maybe in this alternate timeline, somehow Anakin defeated Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and I believe he would have if they were on level ground and Anakin didn't lose to the high ground, through his hubris. So I believe that if she shows up at the Jedi Temple there may be a little bit of a chance for her to get to him. However, by the time he's on Mustafar, I feel like he is so far gone with having, destroyed the younglings, destroyed all the separatists, destroyed all of his Jedi friends, and created a bloodbath that I don't think he would even remotely hesitate to fight Ahsoka if she was in his way, just like he didn't for Obi-Wan. He had more hatred for Obi-Wan and disdain for Obi-Wan than he did for Ahsoka. However, I feel like with Ahsoka, even so, bro, if he was okay with the younglings, like, I think he would be okay with Ahsoka. Like, the man's on a mission, and that's essentially what it was. So I think it would be really cool to see, and I know a lot of people are against this, but I think it would be really cool to see Ahsoka in the world between worlds, going into Mustafar, going into events of Order 66, and maybe kind of understanding for herself how this would actually change the Star Wars timeline, or in what I think is going to happen, how it actually won't. It won't have any impact whatsoever. So maybe she's actually going to reverse time so far back that maybe she goes to the Jedi Temple and never leaves. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. But with the world between worlds, it makes me a little worried because we can always go back in time and pull things out of scenarios and out of moments in Star Wars. And she could literally go in Revenge of the Sith, pull Anakin out of Order 66, and be like, hey, let's go fight Balin now. Ha ha ha. And like we would get Anakin in this timeline, which would be so weird, but they could do it. So it's really a toss-up. But this is how I think Ahsoka will get over her like forever fear of the fact that she was the one that destroyed Anakin's life by abandoning him. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Do you want to see a situation where Ahsoka is on Mustafar or is at the Jedi Temple trying to talk to Anakin and talk him off the ledge of being evil and crazy? Or do you think that that would be kind of lame, even as a fan fiction scenario? You just don't want it. So I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. And until then, remember the Force will be with you always. Hey guys, before you exit the video, I just want to say I'm having a site-wide merch sale for 20% off any item that you want on the merch shop. Just use code ENDOFSUMMER20 at checkout and you'll get 20% off everything in the store, whether it's one item or 10. So make sure that you use, once again, the code ENDOFSUMMER20, all in one words, at checkout, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. This sale goes on until September 14th, so you still got some time. However, there are limited quantities of everything on the site. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.